Okay, so you've probably heard the name Stingy Jack, right? You know, the trickster, the guy doomed to wander in the dark with a lantern forever. But what if I told you that's not the end of his story? Actually, it's not even close to the real story, because this isn't about a cursed soul. It's about his rise to power. We all know this face, the jack-o'-lantern. It's the symbol of a classic cautionary tale, a ghost story we tell on Halloween to warn people about living a life of vice. And yeah, it's a great story. But what if the version we all know completely misses the point? Because Jack's journey didn't just end with him stuck in some lonely purgatory. His tale isn't really about the price of being a trickster. No, it's about how a man rejected by both heaven and hell took his damnation and literally forged himself into a cosmic power. So let's get this straight. This isn't a ghost story. It's the story of an apotheosis. So, to really get how he pulled this off, we have to go back to the beginning, back to the man himself, the infamous mortal we know as Stingy Jack. Look, Jack wasn't just some petty con man. He was an absolute artist of avarice. His entire life was basically a monument to his own selfish will. We're talking about a level of greed and cunning so legendary that hell itself was practically drooling to get its hands on his soul. And that reputation, well, it led to 2 legendary showdowns with the devil, 2 betrayals that would seal his fate and, funny enough, put him on the path to unimaginable power. So, first up, the devil comes to collect, and Jack, cool as ever, asks for one last drink. He then dares the devil to turn into a silver coin to pay for it. The second he does, bam! Jack snatches the coin and shoves it into his pouch, right next to a silver crucifix. The devil's trapped. The price for getting out? 10 more years of life, totally free from hell's grasp. A decade goes by, the devil shows up again. And Jack, always thinking, asks for just 1 apple from a nearby tree. As the devil climbs up, Jack carves a cross into the trunk, trapping him again. This time, the price was non-negotiable, an eternal, unbreakable promise that the devil could never, ever claim his soul. Now, Jack probably thought he'd won the cosmic lottery. He'd secured his soul from damnation forever. But in all his cleverness, he kind of overlooked one massive detail. Just because hell can't take you doesn't mean heaven wants you. So when Jack finally died, he found himself locked out of everywhere. Heaven took one look at his life of pure self-interest and said, no thanks, calling his soul barren. And when he showed up at the gates of hell, the devil, true to his word, just shrugged and turned him away. He was completely cast out, trapped in that weird twilight space between realms, not belonging to anyone or anything. That was supposed to be his curse, to wander in an endless, lonely darkness forever. And as a final little up yours, the devil tossed him a single burning coal from the fires of hell. But Jack, being Jack, just hollowed out a turnip he had on him, popped the coal inside, and made his own lantern, the very symbol of his damnation. But this is where the story gets really good. This is the pivot. Because what if being a total outcast, belonging to no system, obeying no master, what if that isn't a curse at all? See, Jack's mind just didn't work like a normal person's. Out there in the endless dark, staring down an eternity of nothing, he didn't feel despair. He saw an opening. Where you or I might see punishment, Jack saw total liberation. He realized that all those rules about good and evil, reward and damnation, that's for people who need a master. Out here, in the void between worlds, those laws were meaningless. He was, for the first time, completely free. Think about it. By outsmarting both order and chaos, Jack essentially broke the system. He wasn't just a lost soul anymore. He was a glitch in the matrix, a bug in the cosmic code, an entity that simply didn't fit into any category and answered to nobody. And as an anomaly, well, he was in the perfect position to do something impossible. All he needed was a little spark. Or, as it turns out, 2 of them. So, as he's drifting through this abyss, Jack stumbles upon the leftover energy of a seraph, a super powerful angel that had been basically deleted from existence for daring to defy heaven's strict rules. Another rebel cast out for having a will of its own. Now, this is the crucial part. Jack doesn't pray to it, he doesn't ask for a blessing or plead for power. No, he acts. With that same ferocious, unstoppable will, he just consumes it. He seizes the divine essence and makes its power his own, mashing it together with his own limitless greed. And that incredible fusion, divine rebellion mixed with pure mortal greed, created something brand new. Something that was way, way beyond just Stingy Jack. And this table just lays it out perfectly. He took every single piece of his so-called punishment and inverted it, turning it into a tool of absolute mastery. His eternal wandering, that became the power of infinite movement. That one burning coal from hell, now it's a conduit for raw, untamed cosmic power. And being a rejected spirit, that became the very foundation of a sovereign will that answers to nothing and no one. And the arsenal he wields now is just insane. From his lantern, he can unleash pandemonium flames, fires that don't just burn you, they can literally burn abstract concepts like morality and consequence. He wields hell magic, not as a demon, but as a king, twisting the very laws of cause and effect. And of course, he can travel anywhere, across any dimension, anytime he wants. He dropped the name Stingy. He is now Jack Sovereign, a self-made god, a predator of the absolute who walks in the shadows of reality. He's not here to save or to damn. He's here to collect on every debt, cosmic, karmic, you name it. So, what does this new legend really tell us? This is the birth of what Nietzsche called the Übermensch, the overman, a being who creates their own values, who forges their own destiny. It's a terrifying but kind of magnificent idea, isn't it? That maybe the most powerful force in the entire cosmos isn't good or evil, but a will so absolute, so ruthless, that it refuses to be defined by anything but itself, creating its own light from the very fires of its own damnation.